So I'm going to show you an old favourite of mine. This is a little trick that you can do to create lip syncing for your characters. Here I've got a little animation of a dog, just done in Poser, where he opens and closes his mouth a few times. If you don't want to lip sync a whole animation, you can just create some mouth movements like this. And by moving time backwards and forwards, you can kind of make it look as if he's talking. I've got some music in here made by a friend of mine, Jason Levine, the wonderful Jason Levine, and I've extracted his voice from the audio so that I've only got his voice on this track. So I'm just going to play that for you.
I don't need to know your business. I'm not interested in you.
So that's the full version. Here's the one with the extracted vocals.
Bringing me down, do I?
So I did that with Adobe Audition just to get his voice isolated. And then I select this and I'm going to go to Animation, Keyframe Assistant, Convert Audio to Keyframes. And that's going to create a layer with audio keyframes. And you'll see that if I open both channels in the graph editor, that these match the waveforms of the audio. If I just play that for you.
I don't need to know your business.
So if I select this path, you'll see in the info panel, it's telling me that my minimum value is 0 and my maximum value is 15.21. So those are the minimum and maximum values of the audio. So I want them to control the mouth opening and closing. So I'm going to delete these two. I don't need right channel and left channel, just have both channels. And we're going to remember the values 0 and 15. Okay, then we're going to go into our talking dog. In order to stretch this out for the duration, I need to apply time remapping to it. So I'm going to go to Time, Enable Time Remapping. And that allows me to stretch that piece of footage out for the duration of the comp. And it places time remapping keyframes in there. Now if I go to where his mouth is open, and I click on this button to add a keyframe where his mouth is open, and then I can move ahead and then just copy and paste the first keyframe to make his mouth close. And by doing that, I can open and close his mouth. Now I could do that manually, or I can use these keyframes to control the timing. And that's what I'm going to do. So I can just drag the property pick whip up to the both channels slider effect, and it writes an expression for me, which will tie the time remap value to those audio levels. If I switch on my expression graph, now you'll notice we're getting clipping at the top, and that's because the values don't match. So I need to adjust this expression. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a variable. So I'm going to say A equals this expression, okay? And then at the end of that, I'll put a semicolon and a new line. And this is where I'm going to use an expression called ease. So I'm going to type in ease, and then open parentheses, and then inside ease I need to put the following numbers. So first of all, I'm going to put in A because that represents the value that we're working with, which is the value returned by this expression. Then I'm going to put a comma, and the next set of values I need to put in are the minimum and maximum values from this value. So that was 0, 15. And then the second set of values I need to put in are the values that I want those values to be converted to. So I'm going to type in 0, 3. And then the parentheses are already closed, so I'll just accept that and we'll have a look at it.
I don't need to know your...
So it's better, but actually I want less than that. So I'm going to go all the way back to 1 and have a look at it.
Business, I'm not interested in you bringing me down. Do I look like a phone booth meant for talking on? Da 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 da.
So you see that just by adjusting those values and getting the timing right, using time remapping, you can just have him lip syncing forever. So yeah, it's a really good technique if you want to create some quick, easy lip sync animation.